Hello, welcome back to All Day Everyday Preparedness, and this is All Day Everyday Preparedness News. More price hikes are on the way, and that means more high food prices for all of us. This inflation tsunami is threatening to flood the whole world with high food prices. Do you believe these high food prices that we're seeing right now? It's a constant battle between prepping versus inflation. We see what's happening in the world with the high food prices, the food crisis, inflation price hikes, but yet our money can only go so far due to the massive inflation tsunami that's crippling the economy and our purchasing power. Now, if you haven't heard, most believe that inflation is here to stay. That means that over the next several years at least, expect to see more price hikes, more high food prices, and even a potential food crisis right here in America. Not that there will be an actual food shortage, but there could be, but that many people will not have the money to afford the food that they otherwise would buy on a normal basis. As preppers, this is a very difficult time that we're living in. Now, some so-called experts say that inflation is indeed going down and that things are going to get better with inflation and the economy. But I'm not buying it one bit because I see the high food prices that I have to pay, the high electricity bills, the high and higher cost of living, and I'm not buying it one bit. And you shouldn't buy it either, guys. I mean, when you go shopping, does it look like inflation is going down to you? I mean, has your cost of living, has it went up or has it went down? And for me, I know that simple answer, it's went up extremely high. So let's look at this article and see exactly what this article says and what one CEO of a major food manufacturer had to say. Now, this article says that the cost of groceries will continue to rise in 2023. Now, the key points of this article on inflation and food prices says the USDA predicts that grocery prices will still increase, but not as much as they have this current year of 2022. Okay, what's going on with Russia over there will continue to have a significant impact on global food supplies. Okay, reading further into the article, we see that the cost of groceries skyrocketed this year. That's no surprise. It says putting pressure on bank balances of many Americans. Also, the avian flu has affected our birds, supposedly, the chickens and turkeys, supply chain pressures, and increasing energy and labor costs have all had an impact on food prices, particularly staples like eggs, flour, and butter. Now, according to the BLS, average food prices in October were up 10.9%. But guys, trust me, it was way higher than that overall for food. Now, I know my grocery bill has gone up at least 30 to 40% overall from this same time last year. So you cannot trust the media, guys, or the government or any financial guru here on the internet or on the news or on the media when they tell you these fake numbers, guys. I mean, you know it for yourself to be true. When the government comes out and says, oh, inflation is only at 8% or it's at 9%, you know that your cost of living has gone up way past the percentage of what they're saying, more like 20 or 30%. If they're saying it's 8 or 9, you know it in your own pocketbook or your own wallet. It's more like 20, 30, sometimes even 40% higher. Now, we're living in a real cost of living crisis here, guys. Now, as you can see, this article says that the USDA says that food prices will slow, but look closely here. It says they're still saying that food prices will rise between 3 and 4% in the coming year of 2023. Food prices are expected to grow more slowly in 2023 than they did in 2022, but still above historical average rates. And there you go, guys. Even though it's only going to be 3 or 4%, they're predicting that still higher than average, higher than the historical average, guys. Now let's look at what the CEO of Kraft Foods had to say. He says that the USDA estimates may be overly conservative. He said that consumers need to prepare for higher prices, and that's the truth, guys, because these higher prices are coming and they're not slowing down. Inflation is here to stay. He goes on to say that he thinks inflation will continue to be an issue and that there'll be more supply chain hiccups as well. So if you see that as well, he's saying that in the future of 2023 and going forward, there's going to be more supply chain hiccups, more supply chain problems. That's going to also increase the cost of goods getting to the store, which will increase the cost of you paying for those goods once they're at the store and available for you to purchase. Now let's look at one more article here. This is a quick video article from The Hill. Now, as you can see here, guys, it says that that eggs have gone up 30%. Now, I asked the question, where have eggs only went up 30%? Because again, you cannot trust these articles, guys. You cannot trust the government numbers that they throw out there at you, especially when it comes to inflation and food costs. Now, I know in my area, the egg prices have went up well over 30%, and I'm going to prove that to you in just a moment. So if you saw the video that I did a few weeks back on inflation and the cost of living crisis, I was complaining about how egg prices jumped up over $1 and some change in just over 2 weeks. Now they've jumped again and they're approaching $7 for an 18 count of eggs. So as you can see, guys, just 2 weeks ago, 18 large eggs at Walmart were $6.40. That was up from like $5.08 a few weeks previous. So they jumped up a whole dollar and like 32 cents or something like that. It was crazy. Now they've gone up, as you can see, to $6.96 for that same 18 count eggs. Now let's see just how much they've gone up in percentage wise. So if you take the new price of $6.96, which is crazy, guys, and you subtract that from the old price of $6.40, you get 56 cent difference. You take that 56 cents and divide it by the old price of $6.40, and now you get 0.0875. So now if you want to get the actual percentage, you could do it by moving your decimal over, but if you want to do it simply, you multiply it by 100 for a whopping 8.5% increase in just 2 weeks. Now again, here's the real shocker, guys. Look at the price of eggs just 1 year ago from when I went to Walmart. The same 18 count eggs were $3.23. But as you just saw, now they're $6.96. So let's do the math on it. So if you take the $6.96 current price, you subtract it from the price a year ago of $3.23, you get $3.73 difference. Then you take the $3.73 difference and divide it into the old price of $3.23, and you get a whopping 1.1547986. So to get the actual percentage without moving the decimals, we'll multiply by 100. And as you can see, guys, a massive increase of 115.5% from this time last year on those same eggs. So again, the question I'm asking, guys, what are they talking about that eggs have went up 30%? That's 115, almost 116% increase. So they're lying to you guys about the numbers, trying to make you feel comfortable, trying to water it down, lessen the load of what's happening. But guys, inflation is taking over and we have to do something about it. And there's not much that we can do, but we have to do something about it. In my opinion, guys, there's only 2 ways that we can beat what's happening with inflation and the economy right now. Now, number one is to simply make more money. And I know that doesn't sound good to everyone, but taking on a second or third job or taking on odd jobs. But that's option one, in my opinion, to combat what's going on, is to simply have more money available to spend with the higher prices. Now, option two is to cut out the other things that you may not need out of your expenses and buy more food right now. So look for ways to save on your groceries. Now, I've never been a great couponer or found that couponing really works for me in my local area. Personally, I still find that couponing doesn't really save me that much money. But if it does work where you live, then you really should give it a shot. Because I know certain places, they let you do the double and the triple coupons and all that type of thing. But where I live, you can only do it once. Now, I know it's winter right now, guys, and it's cold in most areas of the country, but you may want to look into growing your own food. That's another great way, not only for you to know where your food's coming from, but also it's much cheaper to grow your own than to buy food from the store. Certain things like lettuce and salad greens, herbs, they can be easily grown indoors, guys. So another way to save is to plan your meals out. That way you know exactly what that meal is going to cost you. You know exactly what you're having for the week, and you can go ahead and shop for those items and those items only. Now, things like beans, lentils, peas, white, and especially brown rice are healthy for you too. Beans, lentils, and peas are still relatively cheap, guys. Now, they're what you call dry foods. You do have to prepare those. You have to soak those, wash those, and then cook those. But it's very filling. And again, it's relatively cheap right now. And they do offer some added calories and much needed protein to your diet if meat gets too expensive for you out there in the marketplace or at the store. Spaghetti is another great option to add to your weekly meal plan as well. So just do what you can do to prepare and to ride out this tsunami of inflation, guys. Now, another way, again, is to eat most, if not all, your meals at home. You know, eating out is very expensive, and eating at home is generally more safe and more healthy for you in the long run. Now I'm going to leave some links in the description for some budget but effective grow lights from Amazon if you're interested in growing your own food and trying that out. Now I know what a package of lettuce costs or even a head of lettuce at the store, and really for that same price you can get enough seeds, guys, that you can have enough lettuce for 6 months, okay, that you could grow right in your very own home. And lettuce, trust me guys, it isn't that hard to grow. It's one of the easiest things to grow depending on what type and variety that you're trying to grow, especially if you eat a lot of salads. Again, that's relatively low cost, especially if you can source and grow food right in your very own home, especially here during these winter months. Now I'm growing indoors right now, a little bit of lettuce. I'm trying to do some tomatoes as well. They're starting off pretty good, but we'll see how that goes. I've never actually successfully grown tomatoes indoors. Outdoors is a different story. I grow tons of those every year, but I am trying to grow some of those indoors. And I'll try to do a video on that as well. I'll let you see how that's going once they get a little more mature and start developing. Also, guys, remember that any product that you do purchase from Amazon using my links, it does go directly to supporting this channel. And I do greatly appreciate that. But as always, a free way to support this channel is to simply like the videos, share these videos with others, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And I greatly appreciate that as well. Thank you guys so much. Well, guys, it's getting tough out there, but just know that you're not alone. Thanks for watching. Continue to prepare. And as always, be blessed.